Okay, I'm back. This is my second video. This is February 2011, and my second video on my journey as far as considering getting hormone therapy replacement. On my first video, this is my second video. I don't have the technical ability just yet. I probably will as time goes by if this is successful, or even if it's not, I'll teach it to myself. But I did make a mistake on my first video. I said that it would be about $179 per month if you went to the one of the places said it was $179 a month, and it's not. It's $179 a week. That's how you get the $6,000 to $8,000. The low end was of taking testosterone is about, like I said, about $180, all the way up to $300 for the bells and whistles. But that's per week. You have to go back to the doctor and get your injection every week. And I'm pretty sure you don't see the doctor. You probably see a technician that gives you your shot. So that was a mistake in my first video, and I didn't explain that. I said it was monthly, but you get your it administered every week. And that's where microdosing and having a physician that prescribes you the Okay, so I was talking about having to get it done weekly, and how if you have a physician or you have a nurse practitioner that teaches you how to administer it yourself, that you're not going to the doctor every week. You're only going once every 3 months. So I had made that mistake in my previous video. I stand corrected. I can't fix it right now, but as time goes by, I eventually will. The purpose of this video is to talk about how I got to this point. Why am I considering it? What are my concerns? And then once I unpack that, we'll end that video, and then I'll go get my blood work done. And then after that, we'll visit with the nurse practitioner. And then after that, I'm gonna make another video just summing everything up. And if we continue to go forward, we'll just make a video of my the first time I take it, and then how I feel, or what don't I feel. All right. So how did I get to this point? And I think I've pointed this out. I'm 59 years old. I'm really closer to 60. I'll be 60 in August. So I got a few months, and I'm not 60 yet, but I'm heading that way pretty quick, as I know. Um, I will tell you that up until about 55, really, I'll tell you, the last year of my life, I've really noticed the aging part coming in, setting in two ways. The first, just to give you an idea, um, 3 years ago, I could bench 225 for 5 sets. Now I'm more benching 105, 115. I've switched to higher reps because doing the heavy weight is just, it's too difficult on my joints. I'm starting to have problems with my joints using heavy weight. So I've dropped the weight, but even still, I've dropped significantly. I don't have knee problems like a lot of people my age, or who've either played sports or have really hit the weights for a lot of years like myself. I never had those knee problems. So as early as maybe 2 years ago, I was not benching, squats, deep squats. I could go straight into 225, 230, 240, and I could do that for 5. I'm now down to about 100 and, well, 135, 155, 160. I'm doing deep squats. So in the last year, I've really noticed a big uptick in my strength, in my ability, and what I can do in the gym. And it's concerning, and I understand it's part of the aging process, and all of us are going to go through it. What I've tried to combat it is I'm putting extra time in the gym. I'm actually working out more, and I'm I've got decent results, but I'm not where I want to be. But this is not about aesthetics. This is about longevity, quality of life, energy levels. So I noticed that. That was one of my first big signs. The other big sign that I noticed that really up until the last 2 years has really hit home hard is sometimes I'll get out of work, and we all remember or some of us remember, when we get out of work and you're 25 years old, you go home, you get something to eat, and off you go. You're gonna go, you'll go out and you can stay up till 2 in the morning, catch 4 hours worth of sleep, get up and go back to work and do it again the next day. And as you get to my age, or our age, if you're close to my age, you can't do that anymore. You really need your 8 hours sleep. 9 hours sleep for me, 8 to 9 is what I shoot for. Eight is really where I want to be now. 3 years ago, I was shooting for seven, and I seem to be sleeping more now. So that was a big sign for me. But getting out of work sometimes, at least twice a week, I find that I get out of work and I am so exhausted. In the morning, I'll get up and I'll go. My plan is to be at the gym half an hour after work, and I'll get out of the gym and I'll go, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm going home. I make dinner and I'm asleep by 7, 8 o'clock at night. So my energy level at times is really, really dropped off a lot. And it's not always that way. I'm able to consistently work out, but I really need that rest a lot more than usual, a lot more than I did when I was younger. And obviously, that's the part of the aging process that I understand that will eventually succumb to. Um, but 2 years ago, they're doing blood work on me, and I got crazy idea, not crazy idea. I said, could you please, I said to the doctor, could you please put testosterone in there? So 2 years ago, comes back, and my testosterone level was 350 total testosterone. I don't know what my free testosterone is. I've said this quite often, that I'm not a health practitioner. I'm just getting acclimated to this. Total testosterone was 350, and I was shocked. From what I understand, testosterone is from low testosterone is 300, and high testosterone is up to about 1,000. And I guess when you're in your 20s and your 30s, or maybe 16 to mid 20s, you're pushing 1,000. And I don't know if that's nanograms or whatever, but I know it's anywhere between 300 and 1,000. 300 being the low end. So mine came back at 350, and maybe that's higher than the low end, but the amount of physical exercise I do in the gym, I mean, 6 to 8 hours a week, um, my way of thinking was really low. It's probably why I'm not recovering as fast. It's probably why um, I'm just not feeling as good as I used to. Having said as that much, 2 years ago, for me going on hormone therapy replacement, it was not no, but hell no, for two reasons. The first reason is when you go on it, and if you're on it for any extended length of time, it's very, very difficult to get off of it and get your body reproducing natural testosterone again. So that was my first concern. My second concern is, and I heard a doctor on YouTube say this: when you take steroids, everything grows. And that's one of the reasons that people have heart problems who've overly used steroids. Steroids, I say steroids interchangeably with hormone therapy, but let's be honest. A hormone therapy is replacing testosterone, and testosterone may be one of the very basic supplements you can take. I know there's a lot of other ones, crazy stuff that you can take, but I'm just looking to, you know, teetle tot. I'm just doing a little at a time here. I'm not trying to get crazy. I don't want to be a ginormous bodybuilder. I just want the vitality and energy that I have or had in my 30s and maybe even my 40s and early 50s. Um, so going back to that, I'm at 350, and I think it should be much higher with the amount of exercise. And as I said, I didn't want to do it 2 years ago. It wasn't even, I'm just wasn't planning. Just it was completely out because I was afraid of what it would do to my heart, because my family has heart problems and issues, or history of it. So I wanted to stay away from that. But then last 2 months ago, I went back to the doctor and I got my I got my yearly physical, and they did my blood again. And this time, my testosterone overall was 325. So that's a significant drop. And I'm on the high end of low. And I'm walking around for about 2 months thinking, I don't want to do hormone therapy. It's going to be expensive and there's all kinds of health risks. But I kept watching videos on YouTube, kept Googling all the different questions I have. Keep in mind that when I YouTube a video on hormone therapy, I'm looking for doctors, people who are physicians that do this all the time. So I feel like some of the information or most of the information is going to be as good as when I get in front of a doctor, except the information I'm getting from the YouTube is not going to be specifically catered to me. One of the big side effects of using testosterone or hormone therapy overly, this is just my opinion, when you overdo it, you get a lot of growth, but at the same time, it's going to thicken the walls of your heart. Specifically, I think it's the left ventricle, and your heart becomes stiffer and stiffer, and it's no longer capable of pumping oxygenated blood to the rest of your body. So that's a big concern for me. Um, so I've had it in the back of my mind. Alarm bells are going up that my testosterone dropped significantly after the past year. So I'm thinking, I still don't want to do that. One is the expense. Now I've addressed that um, in my last video about expense. It's not that expensive anymore. Looking maybe $2,000 a year if you do it right and you go to a qualified health professional. So that was dropped. But the second reason um, for me wanting to do it, um, and I just lost my train of thought here for just a second. So I knocked out the first part, saying, "All right, I can afford it now. It's not $8,000, not $6,000." But I don't want to put something artificial in my body, and I'm afraid of all the side effects, and that's the biggest part. I work out, I go to the gym for quality of life and longevity. Now, somebody might say, you know, you can work out and then you hit by a bus and you lose longevity. And that's correct. But if you go to the gym, your energy level is going to be up. You feel good most of the time, or at least comparatively to people your own age who don't go to the gym. So I really was very, very hesitant to start the process forward. And then I heard a physician say something, and it really hit home for me. First, when you take testosterone, it's almost identical. I don't know if it's exactly or almost, but your body views it as your own testosterone, and you use it as your own testosterone. So you're not injecting something foreign into your body. Okay. Now we know there's side effects, but having said that, he said something really hit home. People who take way over what they're supposed to be and they turn into those giant galactic monsters, muscle monsters, they're taking huge amounts. Well, where I'm not looking to put huge amounts into me, I'm only looking to restore what's missing. So if I don't know what my base was in my 20s, I wish I did, but it's safe to say somewhere in the 750 is really not overdoing it. So what I'm looking to do is bring my hormone levels back to where they were in my 30s or maybe late 20s, and hopefully get age well. So you can age like a grumpy old man, or you can age your libido, your mental clarity, your energy can pop back to your 30s and 40s. And that's what I'm after. So what I want to do, and that not what I want to do, but that's why I've decided to do consider doing this. So my next step is to go visit a physician and see if everything works. The first question I'm going to ask that doctor is, we know that the side effects, especially for overuse, is hypertension. The other is going to be blood pressure, and the other uh, is going to be cholesterol. And I've got all of those. I really don't, but I do. So my cholesterol right now is about 142. Um, and I've actually gotten that cholesterol down to 110, but I'm telling you, I can't live with just living on vegetables. Now, I've given up actually red meat. I don't eat red meat. I've given up milk. I've given up bread products. Um, I like cheese, so I probably have 3 or 4 slices of cheese over a 1 week period, and over different meals. So I don't want to give it up. I have given it up in the past, but I want to balance enjoying life with at the same time keeping my health. So I keep cheese just slightly to the point where I'm kind of treating myself. Um, what other points about that? Okay, my blood pressure is generally 120 to so it usually goes for high end is 130 on the systolic top number. I'll get on 130s, but a lot of times I'm getting 119, 117, 122, 126. And I don't think that's anything to be concerned about, in my opinion. On the diastolic, it's always low. It's reasonably low. It's always in the 69 to 70s. So my blood pressure is pretty good. It wasn't always that way. When I was eating red meat, when I had milk in my diet, and when I had breads in my diet, my blood pressure was clicking up into the upper 130s, and my diastolic was into the upper 80s and low 90s. So it really is diet. I would add, I call this a diatribe. I want to go back, not a diatribe. I want to put a little preface in there. I will tell you that some days I'll wake up late for work and I won't eat my normal breakfast meal. And part of this video is really not about my diet. But if I go and I eat at McDonald's, usually I'll get 3 breakfast burritos, and I love them. I really like it. They got the cheese, and they got the bread, and everything else I'm not supposed to eat. I can tell you a day later that my blood pressure goes up 5, 10 points. And then I won't touch it. I won't go to McDonald's for 2 to 3 weeks, and my blood pressure just drops right down into the ranges I was telling you. So food is a really big thing. So here's what I'm trying to say is if I get on this and my cholesterol goes up significantly, like we're talking 180s, 170s, I want to get off of it. If my blood pressure jumps up, anything that not alarming would if it jumps up into the 130s and then the diastolic starts jumping up into the upper 80s, I'm out of here. I'm going to get off of this stuff. If my um, uh, what is it? Blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood pressure, cholesterol. What's the other one? Blood pressure, BP, cholesterol. Um, if either one of those jumps up to unacceptable limits, I'm off. The other thing is because I'm not doing this through not a pill mill, but I'm not doing a doctor that does this specifically and charges exorbitant sums. I'm able to get my blood work done weekly, and my weekly blood work is $50. It's a lot of money. That's about $200 a month. I don't plan on doing my blood work weekly forever, but for the first 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to do my blood work weekly, and I'm doing that so I can microdose it. This is my thought process. I can microdose and just keep my um, testosterone where the doctor says is the zone it should be in. I think that's 7 to 750, but who knows? We'll see that, which means my testosterone will almost double, which would be really kind of cool. Cool, but that seems to be a safe place. If I get any of the hypertension, if I get cholesterol, um, I will stop it immediately. And that's going to be my first question to the health professional or the nurse practitioner if I'm on this for 6 weeks. And any of those indicators go above where I think they're not scary, but where they're significantly higher, where a long term would be a problem. Can I get off this after a 2 month period, after a 6 week period, and go through the withdrawals, whatever that may be, and get my testosterone back to 325, whereas coming back on it right away, it dropped almost nothing. But if I wean myself off, my goal is to hopefully be back to where I started. So that's it. I've been really wordy, and I might redo this video because it's a lot of talking. And the next video will be in about 2 weeks when I visit with the nurse. I'll have my results from my blood work, and I'll ask her the questions I need to ask. And then at that point, I may move forward, I may not. If you've watched the first video and watched this one, I thank you for being part of my journey, and I hope this may help you. Even if it just helps you a little bit, I'm happy. Thank you very much.